On Tuesday, Iran launched ballistic missiles targeting Israel in retaliation for Israel's military campaign against Hezbollah, Iran's ally in Lebanon. The missile attack prompted swift responses from both Israel and the United States, with both nations vowing significant repercussions. Air raid sirens blared across Israel as explosions reverberated through cities like Jerusalem and the Jordan River Valley. Civilians rushed to bomb shelters, and state television reporters were seen lying on the ground during live coverage. According to Israeli reports, more than 180 missiles were fired from Iran, with Israel's air defense systems engaged to intercept the incoming barrage. The U.S. Navy also joined the effort, deploying a dozen interceptors to neutralize missiles aimed at Israel. According to Pentagon officials, Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, IRGC, claimed responsibility, stating that the missile assault was in retaliation for recent Israeli military actions in Lebanon and Gaza, which included the targeted killings of militant leaders. For the first time, Iran employed hypersonic Fatah missiles, boasting that 90% of the missiles hit their intended targets in Israel. Despite the barrage, no injuries were reported in Israel, although one person was killed in the occupied West Bank. Global condemnation followed swiftly, with the U.S. and European Union denouncing the attack. President Joe Biden reiterated full U.S. support for Israel, calling Iran's strike ineffective, while Israeli officials promised significant retaliation. Rear Admiral Daniel Hagari assured that Israel would respond wherever, whenever, and however we choose, emphasizing the government's directive to act decisively. Jake Sullivan, the U.S. National Security Advisor, echoed this stance, asserting that there would be severe consequences for the attack. However, he refrained from detailing the specific nature of the U.S. response. Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu was scheduled to convene his security cabinet in a bunker near Jerusalem to assess the situation and plan the nation's response. Iran's foreign ministry defended the missile strike, insisting that the operation was purely defensive, targeting only Israeli military and security infrastructure. Iran also urged the UN Security Council to take action, emphasizing that its actions were in response to Israel's aggression. UN Secretary-General Antonio Guterres condemned the escalating violence, calling for an immediate ceasefire to prevent further conflict. EU Foreign Policy Chief Josep Borrell echoed this sentiment, warning that the situation was spiraling out of control and called for a regional ceasefire. In response, Iran warned that any retaliation from Israel would trigger an even more crushing and ruinous response. Iranian President Masoud Pezeshkian emphasized that the missile strikes represented only a fraction of Iran's capabilities and cautioned Israel against further confrontation. The attack caused oil prices to surge by 5%, reflecting market fears of a broader regional conflict. The missile strikes marked the second time Iran had launched missiles at Israel, the first being in April, when the U.S. helped intercept the attack. The Pentagon noted that the scale of Tuesday's assault was twice as large as the previous one. The escalation followed Israeli strikes that targeted top Hezbollah leaders in Lebanon, including the group's leader, Hassan Nasrallah. The Iranian-backed group, Hamas, which operates in Gaza, hailed the missile strikes as revenge for the assassinations of its leaders. In Lebanon, Israeli airstrikes killed the commander of the Imam Hussein Division, a Hezbollah-affiliated group in Syria. Israeli forces also confirmed limited ground raids into Lebanon, signaling a potential ground war with Hezbollah, Iran's most powerful proxy in the region. Nearly 1,900 people have been killed and more than 9,000 injured in Lebanon over the past year due to cross-border fighting. A full-scale ground invasion of Lebanon, which would be the first in 18 years, could significantly escalate tensions across the region, dragging both Israel and Hezbollah into a more destructive and prolonged conflict. Reporting contributed by James Mackenzie, Stephen Shear, Maya Gabili, Timur Ajari, Phil Stewart, Jeff Mason, Idris Ali, Michelle Nichols, Adam Makari, Jaidat Taha, Ines Alashre, Tala Ramadan, Jana Chukir, and Claudia Tanyos. Written by Peter Graff and Cynthia Osterman. Edited by Gareth Jones and Rosalba O'Brien.